Hello, folks. Today we're joined by a very talented builder within the Empyrion community. He's a true artist in a sense, bringing his artistic drafts to life, from pen and paper to blockwork and game. He's the creator behind the popular Stellar Dynamics builds, which can be described as a good blend of form and function. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Dadrick. Hello there.
Whoa,
How you doing?
I'm doing good. You?
Fantastic. So how did you get into Empyrion?
I think I saw it on a Steam sale one time and decided to pick it up on a discount. Uh, yeah, I was into space engineers before this, and I think I was looking for a kind of a similar game that fit that niche.
Yeah. So you weren't an early backer then?
No, I wasn't. Although, I mean, I think I started in Alpha 9?
Hmm. Was survival or creative the bigger draw for you?
I think survival, at least in the beginning, was the bigger draw. Um, I liked that this game actually had kind of like an open world sandbox kind of thing going on with factions and places to explore. It didn't feel as empty as Space Engineers did.
Yeah. So all right, you mentioned space engineers. Did you have an entrance in other builder games, or was that your first? Have you
I mean,
done
I guess you could say Minecraft. That would probably be the only other one, but I never really got too much into that one.
it? uh, what sci-fi themes would you say have influenced your builds?
Well, I would say Star Citizen is a big influence. A bit of Elite Dangerous. And then your other usual suspects like Star Wars, Star Trek. Um, I like Battlestar Galactica. The Expanse to a degree. Off the top of my head, that's about it.
Yeah, I'm seeing the Expanse with the Aegis and the Gladius.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a heavy influence with those two.
Very nice. Yeah, did you feel like there's a good correlation with the I guess how the thrusters work with Empyreon versus some of the Expanse aesthetic?
It definitely lent itself well to Reforged Eden, or rather Empyrion, but specifically Reforged Eden 2, because in the beginning, the limits on CPU were so restrictive. I had to be very selective with where the thrusters were. So that's kind of how I arrived at the Expanse style of approach.
Yeah. Yeah, I find with like Star Wars, if you look at the thrusters, it's really one directional.
Yeah, yeah. How do they turn? Who knows?
Right? Whereas with things like the Expanse, it's like, well, okay, you have your lift and reverse and maneuvering thrusters. That okay, I can make that work with Empyreon.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's the vibe I get with like the Expanse. It looks like a really easy to blend in with Empyrion's building dynamic.
Also got some great looking ships in the Expanse. Like they got a lot of ship porn there.
Yeah. Um, well, what sci-fi theme would you say is your favorite?
Theme, I'd say probably uh Star Citizen. They've got some amazing looking ships there. They've got some very talented artists who've been able to pump out some incredible looking designs.
Yeah, Star Citizen, eh? That's a first.
Yeah, I am a an early backer for that one, which was How long has it been? Was that 2012?
I did. Has it been what 15? Oh my goodness. So it's been
Yeah,
like what
it's been a
13, 14 years.
hot minute.
Yeah. Wow. They still don't still don't have Squadron 42 out. It's crazy.
Yeah, when's that coming? I don't know. Allegedly, it's soon-ish.
uh, all right. So that would be okay. Well, as far as games, that's all right. Now, if you were to say like Hollywood or theater, what sort of themes would you say is your favorite? Yeah, and I guess maybe more importantly, would you say Star Wars over Star Trek or vice versa? That's the big question.
In terms, yeah, I'd say Star Wars beats out Star Trek just a little bit in terms of like mainstream influence.
Yeah.
So
Have you done a Star Wars build? I don't know if you have. I
I've
can't.
done one. The Bicentennial
Oh
Sparrow
yeah,
is
yeah,
a
yeah.
technically a Star Wars build.
Right, right. Yeah.
Just meant to have kind of that rugged look going on.
hmm So you got that, and then you do actually have a proper looking Star Trek build here.
I do. Yep.
USS Spirits.
Yep. Built to be a starter vessel. I'm pretty happy with this one. I think it came out pretty nice.
Yeah, it looks pretty affordable. Very nice. Um, so as far as the your sci-fi themes that influence you, that's that. Now, would you say anybody within the build community has influenced you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be, I guess, boring, but Jay Randall, he's definitely been a big influence. Uh, Filbert Farmer, he was a pretty big influence sort of earlier on. Xcal, and then there's more recent builders like yourself and Entei who've come along and put out some fantastic stuff.
Wonderful. So what part of the build process is most time consuming for you?
It's, I'd say interiors is the most time consuming,
Yeah.
especially as ships get bigger. Like the interiors get just enormous, and they can become a very, very time consuming.
Do you do a do you do inside out or outside in? What's your approach?
Usually, I go outside in. I'll block out the exterior of the ship, get the kind of the shape I'm going for, and then once I'm kind of happy with how it's looking, I'll move inside and start working out the like the layout. And then if I need to, I'll modify the outside to kind of suit what I've got going on inside.
Now I do know that you do you kind of dabble in drafting. Is that do you do drafts for each build?
For most of them, I've got like I'll start with a sketch on paper, like
Yeah.
just the outside of the ship. I don't really worry too much about what's going on inside.
Is that something that's part of your personal life?
Yeah, art's always been like a hobby of mine, so I
Yeah.
enjoy sketching and drawing. So it just feels natural to kind of start that way, and then I find, at least for me, it's easier to sketch something out quickly on paper than it is to get into the game and try and sculpt something out of blocks without having an idea in my head.
So what would you say is the easiest part of the build process for you?
Yeah, I'd say the easiest is starting from the outside and kind of trying to recreate a shape that closely resembles the sketch I started with.
Yeah. How often? How often are you satisfied with that?
Not always. It can be a
Yeah.
mix because you don't always get the shapes you think you can
Right.
with the limited blocks that we've got.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely a thing, man. Disappointment. Like, yeah, yeah, maybe I'll see
Yeah,
something and like, yeah, let's give it a crack. And
you go into it thinking, yeah, this is going to be great, and then when you start actually slinging the blocks together, it's like this isn't quite working the way I thought it was going to.
uh, well, okay. On that, so how long would it take? Well, I guess generally, how long does it take for you to make a large CV?
A large CV is usually about a month from start to finish. Um,
So if we're talking something like the Resolute, would you say that's
the
a month too?
Resolute would be even more. That would be
Oh,
like two
really?
months
Okay.
because it's a much bigger boat. There's a lot going on. There's a lot more inside than you would have with a smaller ship. So yeah, this one definitely took longer. The one that probably took the longest was the Reliant, which is the carrier.
Oh yeah. I see you've got your formula here. You have the thrusters in the back, doing the optimal protection. Yep.
Yeah, kind of harkening back to the Star Citizen thing. The idea I had was that I would create like a manufacturer, kind of like they had in Star Citizen, and like all the manufacturers, there was always like some details or some color scheme that always kind of tied them all together. So that's kind of what I was trying to achieve. So that's why a lot of them have like similar profiles. You got like the bridge on the top, you got the engines kind of towards the back. They got the fins on the front. Those are kind of like common details I've tried to replicate in a lot of them.
Stellar Dynamics is kind of like a, I guess maybe inspired by General Dynamics, or
Not really.
yeah.
I was just kind of fishing for a name that sounded, like something you'd find in a sci-fi franchise.
Okay. What would you say is your completion rate with doing builds? So from start to finish, because I know for a lot of us that's an issue is that we'll get started on a project and quite a few of them will just get
Yeah, don't
abandoned.
make it.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably 50-50 for me.
Yeah. I
Yeah, I
think
got a lot of builds. Some, get halfway through and then I decide, this just isn't working for me.
I think it was Procyon that was telling me that he's got like a 10% completion rate.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that bad.
uh, um, do you have any that sit for a while? Because I've got some that will sit for years, perhaps.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well,
I,
it's
I
like
don't
well, for me, I don't want to, I don't necessarily give up on builds, but it sometimes it just like the timing isn't right. And then with like the evolution of the scenarios, it's maybe one build doesn't work, but then something pops up on a change for the scenario that makes it sensible.
right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Um Usually I'm pretty good about actually completing them once I've sat down and started building it. I've got a couple that I kind of picked up and put down at various points, like this sort of space dock over here, the like space cradle. I think I've been working on this one on and off for like 2 years, but that one's definitely the extreme.
Oh yeah, very nice. That's pretty sweet.
Thank you. Usually, though, I try to finish them because I feel like if I stopped, I probably won't probably won't get back to starting them again.
Do you bounce builds? So for some of us, it's a technique to avoid getting completely burnt out. Maybe set it to the side and just work on something else before you go back to it.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely something I do. If I find I'm getting burnt out, I might go and build, something small like an SV or an HV.
Nice. So which of your builds is your least favorite?
My least favorite,
Yeah.
probably the Trenton over here. The poor, neglected Trenton. I don't know. I was trying to go for something, kind of like having a naval thing going
Yeah.
on, but yeah, I don't know if it really came together in the end.
uh,
Got like 2 hangars for some reason.
one for HVs, one for SV, man.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's got all of the medium thrusters. I don't think there's a single large thruster in it.
I love it. That's got some strong naval vibes, man. It's like a Coast Guard or search and rescue or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it'll even fly in Reforged Eden,
No.
because that was a vanilla build.
No, it's an HV right now.
Oh, there you go.
It's got charm, man. I like it. Hey, look at this. Got CPU room in here.
Oh, there you go.
Look at you even have some sentry turrets in here, man.
Yeah, in case somebody in the unlikely event actually boards your ship.
PvP ready.
Yeah, never got into that in this game.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, is this your first CV?
No, that would be the Lance, just over to the side. I think that's my second CV.
Hmm. Yeah, it looks like this could be a good starter.
That's what it was.
It's 1300 Neo. You get this thing going.
Yeah, built this thing back in one of the early alphas before the Galaxy or any of that was a notion in anyone's head.
Wow. Oh yeah, I love this setting. You got all of your engineering located in one area. You got warp drive right next to some fuel tanks. It's right next to some generators.
Yeah, right in the nose of the ship, so it'll be the first thing to go.
uh, yeah, obligatory RCS to make it maneuverable.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
go.
gotta have it, man.
Black and white.
Hey, you didn't have very many color options then. This is before you could change the colors.
Oh that's right. That's crazy. Nice sloping of the windows there. I love it. All right, so
Looks like I have some of the windows backwards. Oh, no, maybe not.
yeah, it's interesting. So if the Trenton is your least favorite, what's your favorite?
I'd say my favorite's the Endurance. It's I've probably used it the most. It's a tough little ship. And I've been pretty happy with just the aesthetics of it, how it came out.
Yeah, it gets a lot of play. I have a faction mate from time to time who likes to jump in this thing.
Yeah, I've upgraded it a few times. I even made an upgraded version for RE2, but I never released it.
Hmm. Okay, so let's see. I was gonna say, other than workshop, have you made any contributions to Empyrion? But I guess we are kind of going over that earlier. That you've done
I
some.
have.
Yeah.
Well, I think a few of my ships have actually ended up in the game itself as like warlord faction ships.
Oh yeah.
However that process works, but yeah.
Hmm. Would you know which one's offhand?
The Vindicator. Oh no, no. The Valiant was the one, and then the Pioneer was the other one. I think that got brought in. I don't think you have either of them here.
I guess not. All right, so there's that, and then you've done some work for the Anvil server. Made a
I have.
number of POIs over here.
I have.
Is this so? You've now did you do like the spawner work and stuff like that, or did you just do the block work and somebody
I
did the?
did both.
Oh, okay, you completely filled it out. Nice,
Yeah.
very cool. This industrial center. I like the glows you got on top there. Very nice.
I was happy with I was happy with how they all came out, but yeah, I like those faux stacks on top.
Very cool. It's so is this your first take on POIs doing the one for Blade, or have you done some POI work before that?
No, this was a first for me.
Yeah.
So it was a learning experience.
Oh yeah.
I actually created like a modular construction set to make all of these, kind of like how Vermilion does.
Oh,
So I
okay.
figured it might save time.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, right. So that's actually, yeah, I do hear that saves a lot of time. That's cool. I didn't know you had done that.
Yeah, and then it also helps keep them all kind of look consistent because they're all supposed to be part of a faction, right?
Yeah. Sector control. I love what you did with this dome. That is so cool.
Yeah, that was Filbert Farmer's idea. He started with that on the Blade Collective ships that he made for this season.
Yeah.
And I thought the dome was a cool idea, so I tried to integrate it into the POI.
So this would be like a Blade's take on sector commands.
Sort of, or at least that's how it started, but it ended up being their now current drone base.
I love it, man. I love the color scheme. Color looks really good. Block works fantastic. Just everything about it.
Thank you. Yeah, I put a lot of work into this one. I think it came out pretty well.
I can't. Yeah, so I haven't actually run this one yet to say whether it's a kill box or not. Probably is.
I don't think it was too difficult. I think
Yeah.
the hardest part was actually like defanging it in the first place.
Okay.
Once you get inside, I don't think it's too bad, or at least I tried not to make it too much of a ball buster.
Is this admin core?
No,
Oh.
no, but it's I think it has 3 cores.
Okay, yeah. Did you enjoy the process of POI making?
I did. No, it was a nice change of pace from making ships and stuff for people to use in survival.
Yeah.
Kind of a different skill set because you have to sort of set these things up a little bit like a maze. Like they're basically dungeons.
Right. It's kind of like a chess game, or an arms race, trying to theory craft what some people might be thinking or
Yeah,
prevent them from shortcutting, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Then that's where the multiple cores kind of comes in, because it used to be that when you had only one core, people would learn where the core is and they could just snipe it and avoid the entire POI.
Right. Yeah, sector control, I love it. So you also have orbital complexes. Now, is this part? Well, I guess it is part of Blade. It looks like they're aesthetic.
It is. This is, well, as the name would suggest, this is an orbital POI.
Hey, I love this LCD here, man. This is great. The sword. Wow, that's pretty cool, actually. Where's this LCD at? I gotta look at the code.
I think it's buried in the ceiling up here somewhere.
This looks great, actually. That's it.
Yeah, I've dabbled in making LCDs.
Oh, I didn't even know that was an implement. That's interesting. Yeah, really cool, man. So, what sort of items or features would you like to see added to Empyreon?
Wow. That's a loaded question.
Yeah, it's, a lot of us have in our mind like what would be the ideal Empyreon and what would it take for us to get there. So,
Right. Um, hmm. I mean, I would love if they would iron out some of the bugs that the game has had, like long-standing bugs that they just haven't seemed to have fixed. Um, that aside, I mean, I would kind of like if they would get away from the factory system as it is, where you just kind of like stick stuff into this amorphous space and you can just spawn it anywhere. It would be nice if they had like some kind of a like factory system that would require you to build ships at a base. I'm not sure how that would work, but yeah, I think that would be interesting.
no, that would be cool. I could see like doing some sort of launch pad or something for CVs, or
Yeah,
maybe you need an orbital station for a CV, something like that.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you're not necessarily a fan of like the factory dump, sticking all the excess resources and stuff in there.
No, I think that's pretty cheesy.
Yeah.
Like, I get why people do it. It's convenient,
Hmm.
but in terms of gameplay, it is cheesy.
Any particular block types or block styles that you'd like to see added?
Um, I don't know. Empyrion's actually got some decent selection for blocks. I haven't really found myself wanting for like more unique shapes too often. There's a few shapes that I feel like they need, like it's for some transitions between like uh 45s and the 22.5s.
Yeah.
But I'd say if anything, I'd like for them to clean up the textures, because there's a bunch of textures in there I don't think anyone uses 'cause they're just ugly. They don't repeat very well, and they're just low res. If they could replace them with some higher quality stuff, I would like that.
Yeah, there's a number of textures that don't connect. I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, I feel like if we had access to like, I don't know, so if we've got 22.5, maybe 12 and a quarter, so something half that, and then
Okay, yeah, 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 I could see that, and I think those were kind of added as, what was it, ramp blocks? Is that what they're called?
yeah, well,
Eh,
yeah, right, for
for
RE,
RE, but they
right.
don't texture at all.
Yeah.
So it's kind of limited in what you can do with them. Yeah, yeah, that would be nice.
Because I think, once we see something like that, then a whole lot more shapes open up. Because so if you've got the right family of blocks with that, you're not only talking about some good looking sharp right angles, but with the right family of blocks, you could do some rounding on a larger scale. So
Hmm.
that can open up a lot of other options. Yeah. So is this is what you're working on right now? Is the X-117?
Yep. Every one of my ships gets an X designation before I give it an actual name, and that's basically just so I can keep track of how many builds I've pumped out.
Now, how long did you say you've had in this? How much time investment?
Oh my God, let me quickly pull up Steam here and check because I don't even remember. Let's see here, 3,778 hours. So
Wow.
a few hours. Oh,
So that into this
by
build?
far my most played game. Which
Yeah.
build?
Well, the X-117, I was curious how much you'd have invested into the build itself. What?
17? Oh, where is that? That's the
That's
oh, yeah.
your space
I've put
dock.
a lot of time into this thing, and the exterior I think is just about done. The interior, I think I've got the layout figured out, but I need to go through and actually work on the block work and the detailing. Um, I would very much like to finish this one. I was hoping to have it done for this season, but on the anvil, but between getting the server ready and building new POIs for this season, I just didn't have the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems beautiful.
I'm happy with it. I think it's come out quite nicely.
What a monster. It's big and it's not big, if that makes sense. Like, it's
Yeah, there's a lot of empty space here.
right.
It's a lot of it's for show, but it does look really cool when you dock a spaceship in the cradle.
And you have the oh yeah, right. You got the repair pad there, so that's awesome.
Yep.
Does this check out for some of your bigger builds?
They all fit in here.
Oh, wonderful.
Even yeah, it's a tight squeeze with the CV carrier, but they all do fit in there.
Nice. You can get the Reliant in there. That's awesome. Have you tried the running the repair on it with the Reliant in there?
No, no, I have never tried that. I try not to bring my carrier anywhere it's going to be shot at.
When you do a playthrough, is it exclusively builds, or do you have a run at some other builds, or what?
I usually mix and match some of my own, and then some from other authors.
Yeah. Now I could swear the Endeavor Outpost is a POI blade. Is there not a
It
conversion?
it was, yes.
Yeah.
I did make one at one point. I turned it into a POI, but it was player base long before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used this one a few times in playthroughs.
Oh yeah, you got the repair station there. Okay, nice. All right, let's see. So let's have a look at some of our builds here. So the Pathfinder. This would be a starter.
It is.
Oh, I like this overhang on the tail. That open slot there. That's pretty sweet. I like that. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I felt like it needed something there. It felt a little weird without like a little tail.
Yeah, nice and simple, nice and clean. Um, So that's sort of your flavor here is with your builds. You get like the canards. I see a little bit of variance with some split hull action every once in a while.
Yeah, I try to mix it up every now and then. Sometimes I got a few that I put out that don't really stick to the norms. The Vindicator here looks
Right.
more like an oversized SV than a CV.
Yeah, I did think that was an SV spawning it in. Not gonna lie, but that's I think that's part of the charm of it. So this would be a third person cockpit.
Oh yes, yep. Yeah,
Hey,
I think this one was made to be one of them spin to win ships. So it's very light. It's got a lot of thrust, and it's got an armored nose.
this was for RE1, right?
It was, yeah. So it might not work as well in RE2.
Yeah. Well, I bet if you upgraded the thrusters, it would. Still feels pretty good. Yeah, if you turn these thrusters into plasma or something, this thing's gonna go.
Yeah, I'm sure it would go like stink.
Warden, another one I've seen a lot of. Got a nice little pass-through hangar here.
Yep, I've used this one a few times as sort of my daily driver. It's got lots of space in it for SVs and HVs. It's got some pretty decent carry capacity. It can take off of a high G planet.
Yeah, I like these windows looking in on the hangar. That looks really cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, nice setup. I like how you're blending you have uh the heavy glass closures and then you have like the basic ones without the edges, how that works there, and it looks really good. It's kind of like two big sections of pane. Really nice
Yeah,
looking.
I like the heavy glass set. You can make some fun shapes with it.
Not so much a fan of the new one. You can't change the tint on those, unfortunately.
Oh no?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess you don't need to see through the glass, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, I would have played the hell out of them because they have like a kind of like an imperial aesthetic to it.
Right.
Oh, this is interesting. How did you do this tic tac toe backboard?
That's one of the textures is basically like a checkerboard, and it lines up perfectly with that bookshelf.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've never used that. I've never used that combo, man. All this
I think that's the only time I've ever used it.
this whole time I've never paid attention. I think that's the first time I've seen it.
I
Wow,
don't think it
me.
gets much use.
Nope. That's something. Oh yeah, so I like it's definitely it shows that you take time with it. Like you rotate your blocks to make sure you have the color variance. So yeah, like you have the blue rim going on here over some of these arches.
Yeah, that's a detail I like to do.
Right. So you're definitely in the business of rotating the blocks to get that done.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's a big time sink.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yes. I try to limit, like that steel texture and that has like the weird 45-degree angles. I try to
Yeah.
limit that kind of nonsense.
Right. Very nice. I like the overhead like antenna thing you got on your lineup here. That looks really cool too. I've actually got something like that going on my builds.
Yeah, that's another one of those like little flourishes I try to have on all the stellar dynamic ships. Just so it's like one more little detail that kind of to give away that yeah, okay, this is a stellar dynamic ship.
Yeah. So the Crusader is your latest build, is that right?
It is. Yep.
And this is a high efficiency budget build. Uh,
Yeah, kind of like a budget combat build. Like this is meant to be your first combat ship you'd bring in RE2, and it's meant to kind of get you to the next tier of ship.
so what kind of core are we looking at here?
I think it's Core 7.
Yeah.
I think Vermilion actually just reworked the CPU though, so it's actually got some spare CPU now.
Yep. 545 with 620.
I think we're losing the sun.
And then on top of that, we have new cores. So,
Oh, you're right. Yes, I haven't
yeah.
even looked at that yet.
Yep. So not only do we have more CPU, but we also have new cores.
That's interesting.
So it's like the sky's the limit now with these bigger builds. Like I was reluctant to try bringing in some of the older stuff I have as far as like size.
Yeah. Well, and in the beginning there, RE2 was very restrictive.
Yeah.
Like the Gladius here, which is not at all a big ship, was just about the limit of what you could do with a Core 7.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's kind of walked that back because it was very limited.
Could see the return of a Resolute.
I think I could adapt this fairly easily. A lot of the shield parts are smaller, so I think that would work. The X119 was kind of meant to replace the Resolute, or at least fill the same role for RE2.
Yeah.
It's mostly done. It's just got some interior work that I have to finish up yet.
You've done combat trials with this?
I have. Yeah, I've taken it against the Legacy. It holds up all right.
How are you feeling about the shield pin?
Personally, I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me. It's not as obnoxious as it was. I think that got dialed back a bit, so you're not losing just crazy amounts of blocks in minor skirmishes.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I don't mind the idea of there being like a little bit of a tax for getting into combat.
Yeah.
But I know it's not for everyone. Some people like their ships to be kept pristine at all times.
I think a big portion of it is just a psychological thing. Like, flak for maybe if it were just like direct weapons that were shield pinned, but things like flak, you get like a splash. It's like, okay, you hear that, and it's like, what's getting chewed up? And then,
Yeah, the flak is obnoxious, especially for like SVs,
right.
because those blocks have got so little HP. You're just losing stuff left and right.
And then it's also one thing if if it's stuff we've built, like we know, okay, where there's armor and where the weak spots are and stuff like that. But maybe if it's somebody that's grabbed something off at a workshop and
Yeah, they won't know.
right.
They'll try to get a little bolder with it than they should, and then they find themselves floating home.
Bolder or they're skittish about it, it's just part of like a psychological aspect of trying to get into. I was a big skeptic of it at first, but it's grown on me, and since some of the changes he's done recently with it, that suits him
I
come
think
on.
it's in a good place now. I think at the start it was overtuned,
Yeah,
but it's not too obnoxious now.
I like this whole device array you got here. It looks really good. Nice area, like this
Thank
big
you.
big opening here, and some really good device settings here. Really like. I how you have these rounds going here, and it just works to close out how it evolves into this big open area here with the fusion. It looks really good.
I do like these new rounded blocks that Elion added. You can do
Yeah,
some neat details with those.
yeah. There's a number of good tricks I've been using. Like some of the rounds, you get like the 3/4 size blocks, so you could do some sneaky things with some glowies and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I've done that a few times. That is convenient.
I don't think I've seen this here. How you've taken advantage of the what is it there?
I've
The
done
little
that a
bumper.
few times. I
Yeah,
discovered that at some point, and it just there's a couple textures that just with the way they work, you can kind of stretch them out, and it actually looks kind of neat.
yeah. I've not seen that. That's pretty good. That'd be good for a LCD placement there.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't even think of that, but you're right. That would work well.
Interesting. Good usage of round blocks in here. And I see you got gravity. Some people are smash or pass on that.
Yeah, I like to include it, even if I end up shutting it off.
Yeah, because it's you have to do it as a builder. Some people they want to moan about having gravity in the build. It's like I don't need that. I said, well, take it out. It's
Yeah, or just turn it off. I mean, it's real easy. You just go into the settings, you can just shut the device off.
Yeah, I find that people are passionate about three things. So gravity, one of them. The other two being farm and with
Oh
Reforged
yeah.
with Reforged Eden 1, it was solar. Like I know for some people, if you didn't have that 48 count solar panels, maybe you're missing 6 or 8 of them. They're passing on the bill just for that sake.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so it's like that with some people in gravity.
I mean, this thing's a combat build, so I'm not so worried about it being able to idle without burning power. Like,
Yeah,
if I'm not using it, it's gonna be turned off.
right. Challenger, that also is a Reforging 1, is that right?
It is. Yep. That was a Core 9 build.
Oh yeah. Nice little hangar area. All nice and professional. Really good looking. Good use of color. So blue. Um,
Yep.
yeah, that's a good choice.
I found it's a pretty inoffensive color. Most people don't mind blue.
The color of the good guys.
Exactly. The good guys are always blue.
This actually be a good setup for RE2, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it could probably be adapted fairly easily.
Wow, lag shot. Interesting. You find that works?
I don't know. The jury's out. I've heard stories like secondhand from people saying that they've had still experienced lag shot every so often. Like if you get some latency on the server, the shots still find their way through. I just throw it in just in case.
Yeah, I think that might have actually to do with the issue I found with shooting between the seams of the blocks. So
Yeah, could be.
yeah, I'm wondering if this whole time if stuff like the pyramids and a lag shot was just making it worse.
It, I wouldn't be surprised. I've never tried to test that stuff,
Yeah.
so
You know what I'm talking about? The being able to shoot between like the tapered edge.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was crazy, man.
Yeah, the
That's
hitboxes on some blocks are kind of weird.
right. So the Reliant, it works with a module system.
Yep, it's using the old Helios module.
That's right, man. Let's doing that
It's
with
got
the.
3 bays.
Okay, well, 3 of them. You got one. Wait a
There's
minute.
2 on the side and 1 in the
Oh,
front.
okay, yeah, I got you in the front. I thought that was for 2 of the smaller ones.
You might be able to squeeze them in there, but I've always used it for Helios.
If it works, don't fix it.
Exactly. I've used this thing quite a few times. It's been a good ship.
I love these halls, man. Good use of pipes, really good. Bringing it out.
I do like me some pipes.
Yeah, you're really good with device setting. Really nice. I like that the advanced generator you have there, and the 45's going up to the ceiling there, and the pipe work around it looks really good, man.
Yeah, I like to try and make my engineering rooms look like an actual functioning, believable space.
Yeah. I think I kind of get caught up on the. I would want to do something like this for a lot of the area, but I get caught up like I guess I kind of have the same situation as you. I build from the outside in most cases. Now there are a few exceptions, and um, so I'll get satisfied with the aesthetic of it, and then I get to crunch time on the interior, and I just find that I'm coming up short on placing some of the devices. So like,
And that's where I find it gets to be the most time consuming is trying to Jenga everything into the interior without compromising.
yeah. So I that's like where, maybe I had set out like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have like a vaulted ceiling and there's gonna be some intricate work, and the rubber meets the road, and I get in there and I get like the
Yeah.
2 block tall ceilings. Yeah.
Well, it didn't have as much space as I thought I did.
Right, right. It's a beautiful ship though. I love it.
Well, thank you.
Now some people are pretty adamant about not having a bridge on the top though. I don't know if you ever got any blowback about that. Like as far as their carriers go, they want like a fully complete open deck.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but then I don't know. I never
Right,
got into that aesthetic because then it kind of looks like a flying pie plate.
right. So it takes away from the character. So it's like you damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, so yeah, that was a little bit of a compromise, I guess. I put the bridge on the side, but it does kind of, evoke traditional naval carriers in that sense.
So you have a number of iterations going on here with the endurance.
I do. Yeah,
Uh,
like I said, it's my favorite build, so I've tried to breathe as much life into that one as I could. The first one predates the shield boosters and chargers, so I had to come out with a new version that had space for that.
yeah, I remember one of my faction mates spawning it in, and then looks like you had cannibalized the hangar area for that.
Yep. The original version, I ended up cutting back some of the armor in the nose in order to make room for those devices, but I kind of liked having all of that armor there, so you can, face tank something if you really want to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I cannibalized the hangar space.
Do you have a plan to build any other big ship, though? Like the Resolute, for example? Anything in the pipe for that? Anything in the works? Any dreams?
Uh, the Defiance here is currently the big ship that I'm working to finish. Beyond that, not at the moment. If anything, I'd like to build some small stuff to change of pace because I prefer smaller builds because they don't like kind of overstay their welcome, whereas the big builds they tend to drag on.
Yeah. That is absolutely the case. It's absolutely the case.
You built a few big builds.
Yeah, a few of them.
Just a couple, you know.
I so I got ambitious at one point and laid out block work for a Star Destroyer, right?
Yeah.
It was 2 blocks off of max length.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and so I had developed like the hangar and stuff like that, and like, oh my goodness, I had to tap out, man. Right?
Well, Jay built one like that I think was at max length, and he had to get a few different builders to come in and help him finish the stupid thing.
Yeah, wasn't that the Leviathan?
Yes. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
And I was finding that okay, so I'm not gonna once I finish the thing, the size class is gonna be north of 100. So it's like the scope of people that would be able to enjoy it would diminish, and it's like, well,
Yeah, a lot of servers run the size class limitations, so they wouldn't even be able to bring it in.
yeah. So a lot of them are 50. Some, for example, are ours, like 20, 20-ish, 21, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 21.
Over here looking at the Merlin. This was a was it a core 1 challenge or was it core? Yeah, what was
Which
it?
one's the Merlin? Oh, I think it's Core
Core 2,
2, and
yeah.
this was built for one of those designer challenges.
Right.
And I think the challenge was to come up with a Core 2 ship that could take out.
Sunat,
Um,
I think it was,
I think
or
it
was it
was a
Period?
Sunet, yeah, or maybe it was a. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was a Parrot. So it is a very compact ship.
Warship on a budget. I love it.
Yep.
Like that's not even 4K in iron. That's sick. 2100 Neo, not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
12,000 in shields. Pikeman is was this vanilla? Or was this hard
It
mode?
was. This was a vanilla build.
Oh yeah, you could tell you started to hit your stride with this. You can really see with the aesthetic.
Yeah, I started getting into it. I kind of something clicked, and yeah, this is one of the first builds that I was pretty proud of.
Yeah, really good with the geometry. It's like looks like you were getting some color concepts as well. Now I don't know about the beds up on the second block tier with no stair getting up there.
Well, we didn't have ladders,
Oh, okay,
and
that's what this is, the texture. All right, I got you.
yeah, yep, that's what that is.
Wow, there was a point where we didn't have ladders. That's insane.
Yep, not too long ago.
It's kind of got like a almost like a pirate feel to it.
You think?
Yeah, something about like well, I guess the hazard stripes, the darker metal tones, it kind of has that vibe. Or maybe something like a mercenary.
Okay.
Not so much with the geometry. It's the color I'm looking at. It doesn't have like a rugged. It doesn't have like a rugged look or um like that doesn't look like anything's tacked on as far as like the geometry, but the color kind of gives a pirate vibe. Something about it.
I could kind of see that. Yeah, pirates have usually got the black, white, and yellow.
Yeah. Bicentennial Sparrow. That
Star Wars themed. It's a starter ship. It's very limited. Cheap though.
Reforged Eden 1.
Yep.
I never could get into the device display on the outside. I'm paranoid about getting the devices blown up.
The
But
way I look at it, the devices have often got more hit points than the steel or carbon blocks around them. So
that's true.
Well, and in RE1 you didn't have shield pens, so long as your shield didn't drop, you were perfectly safe.
Yeah. Oh, nice little LCD work in here. You got a gun rack.
Yep.
Gun
Because
rack.
this is supposed to be a mercenary ship.
Nice.
It's like a bounty hunter ship, so you got, your little gun rack.
Grenades. You got like a missile launcher there, shoulder mounted.
Yep.
Very nice.
I think I got that LCD from Pear. Or no, or was it Seleucicor?
It might
Might have been Seleucicor.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22. I mean, obviously it's a thing now with the shield pan, but back then, with the shields, not so much an issue. And then also the devices, a lot of them look really good as far as like the
Right?
yeah,
They add detail, so you kind
right.
of want to show them off.
Yeah, nice colors for some of them.
And I mean, the little Argo here, I've used this a few times in RE2 and never had a problem.
Oh yeah, my
I
faction
mean,
mates.
the key is just to don't get shot at. It's easier said than done.
Yeah. My faction mates love this ship. It's a good little starter. I'm not a fan of 45-degree stairs though. That's
I was pressed for space.
Yeah.
Because this thing's also an Astra module.
Oh, is it?
It is. It will dock into an Astra base, so I was kind of constrained in terms of how big I could build it.
Yeah. I get you. All right, that makes sense.
Just part of the reason I ended up with an exposed warp drive, because I just had no more space.
Yeah. All right, that takes us to the USS Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Was this part of a challenge?
I think it was. I think it was part of a themed challenge.
Yeah, it might have been when we did the Star Trek ships, huh?
Probably.
So she's a starter.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how the LCDs look for you, but I've noticed there's a bug where they don't actually display what they're supposed to.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
are they showing mostly black for you?
let's see. I'm looking at cargo bay. I see L cars, and then I
But there
see
should be a lot more on there than
okay.
there.
Now they're popping up. You see that?
Yeah, yeah. I had to basically look at them and then back out, and I think that's an Elion bug.
Yeah.
And I think it's only with that particular kind of LCD.
Is it?
Because this is one of the LCD panels. This isn't like the holographic one.
Yeah. Hmm. Oh yeah, very nice. Got a 9 plot here. I like this med bay. Really good with the rounding entrance there. I love that. Medical suite, very nice.
Doing my best with limited space.
Glass shower, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's be honest. The older shower model doesn't belong anywhere.
It really feels out of place.
Unless you're doing like a POI or something, maybe you could fit in.
Like a pirate POI, I guess, but
Right.
otherwise, yeah.
You know, I love this thing, man. It's compact, but it conveys the essence Star Trek really well.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I think it turned out pretty well.
Well, that's a twist. Sentry turrets.
Yep,
I was not expecting that.
it's a starter. They're just enough to fend off like some sentry drones, and that's
Yeah.
about it.
Let's see, that's got to be. Oh, that's a thin block. Okay. Hmm. Now I hear that using these in large numbers are really good against drones.
I've heard that. I guess there isn't a limit on how many you can have,
I think
or
there is, but
maybe
it's
there
like
is.
16 or 24 or something.
Okay.
Let's see here. 32.
Okay. Well, there you
Wow.
go. I
Yeah.
think they're hit scans, so yeah, I could see them being
Hmm.
good.
So it's like you take all of them and you put them on the nose.
Yeah.
You're good to go. Let's take a look at the Aegis. Designed for RE1. Or is it
No, this is
RE2?
RE2.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Change the time here real quick.
Yeah, this was meant to be kind of a daily driver kind of ship. So it can carry SVs, HVs. It's got room for 2 astrobays. It's got lots of storage. It'll idle without burning power.
Really good hangar size.
Yeah, you can get a few ships in here.
Pretty slick with the symbol work you got here on the front. Looks really good. Yeah. Okay. You got. Okay. So you like the core forward design. Let the core be destroyed so it preserves the rest of the ship.
Yeah, that's what I've kind of started doing on my more recent builds because it'll just save a ship.
Yeah. Core 5, and this upgrades to, let's see, what, Core 7?
Mm-hmm. Got room in the back here for one of those really big plasma turbines.
And you said it's energy neutral on idle?
It is until you upgrade it, and then you got to stick in another plasma turbine.
Yet again, very nice engineering area.
I like me some engineering.
Looks almost like you could fit a module in the back.
You can fit 2 Astra modules on the back.
Oh, nice. Top and
One on the
bottom.
top, one on the bottom, or you can use the top as just another landing area for SVs.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, almost like a mini carrier.
Pretty much.
RP is a must in your builds.
It is for me.
Yeah.
I like my ships to feel like ships. I
Yeah, I
know
think
that's not
it's
for everyone, but oh,
right.
sorry.
It's kind of, it's certainly, I feel it's a must with the bigger ships, and you got a lot more fluff area with them, so it's like you
You really do.
might as well invest into it. Oh yeah. take another look at the Gladius real quick. I don't think we looked at the interior. Yeah, these are both beautiful. I love them. Really captured the Expanse essence with it. Very nice.
That's what I was going for.
External bridge, nice LCD work. Are these originals or did you not?
Some of them are originals, and some of them I took from what's his Salustacor that has the massive LCD set.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them are his.
Yeah, those look really good set in that glass. That's actually a good idea. Hmm.
Yeah, and I got all the LCDs tucked in behind there.
It's got some upgrade potential, got additional gun mount.
Yeah, it's got room for 2 more cores. And a few extra shield parts.
So over here looking at the Vindicator, what inspired you to kind of flip the script on the aesthetic with the nose? Was there any particular ship that said, "Hey, okay, let's try something else here"? Or
Yeah, this one was inspired by what's it called? The saber from Halo. Which, okay, now that I've said that out loud, yes, Halo is another one of my influences. It's totally slipped my brain there. But
uh,
yeah, that was the inspiration for this ship.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's got good upgrade potential. You get the additional gun mounts here under the wings. Looks really good.
Yeah, this thing was built when the spin to win was the meta.
Oh yeah, look. Oh, that's beautiful with the windows there. The alternating between the insets and the outsets. Really cool. Hmm.
Tight, but I was able to squeeze a little bit of fluff in here.
So let's look at our SV lineup. We have the Vanguard here. It's follows the aesthetic of the rest of the lineup, but with the canards at the front. So it looks like you can mount some turrets on there, huh?
Yep. Yep, it's got room for turrets. Don't know if I had any more fixed weapon slots in here. I might not have. Actually, I think it was supposed to come with turrets. I wonder if it doesn't have any because this was an RE1 build.
Hmm. Really cool dropship vibes. I love this seating configuration. Got a little bit of oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's room for upgrades. Actually, I
CPU.
think that's where your CPU extenders were supposed to be,
Yeah.
but they're not there because, yeah, we switched scenarios.
Hmm. Double fridge. That's a must. Get the trauma station there. Very nice. I love SVs with interiors.
I, I I like to build them with interiors. They end up getting a little bigger than they would otherwise, but it is nice.
Yeah. All right. So something I looked at here was the evolution of the Apache. No, there is Mark II. I don't have that one here just yet.
You want me
But
to spawn it?
yeah, you can bring that in if you want. But I like it really shows the contrast of your building skills between the first one and Mark
Oh
II.
yeah, I think this might be my first SV.
Yeah.
The Apache one.
So the Mark II just kind of dialed it up, man.
Yeah, just everything's bigger.
Yeah, that's a big boy. Even has an interior.
It does.
This is also Halo inspired.
No. The Apache was kind of loosely inspired by the real world Apache attack helicopter, but
Yeah.
made sci-fi.
I can see it with like the Mark III for sure. There's something about this Mark II that gives like Halo vibes.
Halo's definitely had some ships that look very much like that.
Yeah. Yeah, going from the first one to the Mark III, that really tells the difference. Like, two kind of feels like its own thing, but third feels like more of something within the family of the first one.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess maybe it has to do with the overhead wings with the Mark II that really kind of differentiate it.
Yeah, it kind of changes its stance.
Yeah, these are great, man. I love this. You use these on server? This Mark
I
III?
have, yeah, I've
Yeah.
used it a bit. It works all right. SVs are in a little bit of a weird place with
Yeah.
RE2.
Yeah. Trying to find
Their niche.
yeah.
Yeah, it is fun though. It's fun to fly.
Now this Dragoon, this looks well, this looks interesting. Hmm. It almost looks like it's made for RE2, the rear set cockpit.
Probably be adapted, but this was an RE1 build.
Yeah.
Kind of took some inspiration from a Filbert Farmer build, CV he had, and kind of created this.
Hmm. I love the name. Dragoon. Cool over or was it like the wrap around with the exhaust there? That block work that's over the thrusters looks really
Yeah,
good.
it's got like a cowl on it.
Yeah. Condor, another awesome design.
Yeah, that was an RE1 build. I think that's when we got the bombs. Although they're missing from here because I guess the block ID got updated.
Yeah, I love that nose. It looks really good. So much at the so that's something I really appreciate with RE2 is the upgradable thrusters because
Oh yeah,
dude,
yeah,
come on, man. There's something like this big, something at this scale, we're trying to find real estate for the thrusters just to make this thing move. So
yeah, and this thing needed it because the bomb. Okay, right, yeah, this thing was a torpedo bomber, and those things are real heavy in RE1,
yeah,
so it needed the thrust just to fly.
And then the beauty here, this Liberator. I love this thing, man.
I'm pretty happy with it.
It's just all around the block work looks great. Just nice wraparound. Like these little faux intakes right here. These look really cool. It's a good sell on that. Definitely has some good stealth vibes.
Yeah, I've used this one a bit. She works pretty well.
Oh, it does have an interior. Very nice.
It does.
Hmm. Oh yeah. So what kind of core are you looking at on this thing? What's your core cap out?
Well, I think it starts at core 7, but you can basically upgrade it all the way up to, oh god, what are we up to now? Core 14?
Uh,
Or are we even higher
17?
than that now? We might
Yeah,
be higher than that, so it
think
might
we're
not have room for everything anymore.
right. I think we're 17. This feels like a You familiar with the YF-23? The one that was
I
the
am.
Okay,
I
yeah.
am.
Yeah, that's the vibes I get from this.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Now that you've, yeah, I can see
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. Look at it, man. You got the angled tails, you got the kind of like unibody wing. And
Man, that takes me back. That anime was great.
very nice. Yeah, the YF-23, that was the competitor that lost to the F-22 Raptor.
Oh, I'm thinking of something else entirely then.
Well, it might be the same thing. Maybe that was in the anime. But yeah, so that was kind of like the competition. I think that was that General Dynamics, I think. And then Boeing flew the
Oh, yeah, no, Boeing's had like a massive cowl on the front of it.
yeah.
It was kind of a weird looking aircraft.
But that F-23, that thing was just beautiful, man. So this is definitely I get those vibes, real strong vibes. These wings and then the angled tail like that looks really good. So to run about this is your starter, looks like.
It is. It's a starter. RE1, but I think it works in RE2 as well.
It'd have to. Thing's the size of a thumb.
Well, it's a starter. It's dirt cheap.
Very nice. Nice selection of SVs. So taking a look at our HVs over here. Now this the vector is just I don't think you could have like a cooler budget build for an HV. This thing is so cool, man.
Yeah, I like these little hover bikes.
Yeah,
They're fun little builds.
this thing's a beauty.
It's a
Really.
little squirrely to actually use it because this thing has got like so much RCS. It'll turn like on a dime. You'll get whiplash.
Yeah. It's something to do with like the putting the hovers on a center line. You gotta put one on either side of the center, and then it's okay. Otherwise, it's kind of squirrely. Panther, this is a low budget RE2 tank, if I'm not mistaken.
RE1.
That's the RE1. Probably good.
But
Yeah.
yeah, low budget. I think it was like core 5?
Oh wow.
Or maybe it's even less than that.
Very nimble.
Hmm.
Now, Lynx is for sure RE2.
It is, absolutely. I've used this one quite a bit.
I like what you've captured here with the off-center turret on the top. It's really cool.
Yeah, I thought it gave it kind of a nice little sci-fi vibe, a little bit of asymmetry. And I like these rail guns. They're pretty nice. I like that they can punch through shields.
Yeah. Nah, nice view on this too. Right. A lot of tanks don't have that first person, so it's good to see that in there.
Yeah, it's not easy to pull off on a tank without it looking a little weird.
Right. Oh, that looks really cool. You got the capacitors that looks really good at that angle. I love that.
I can't take credit for that. I did pull that idea from Entei. He did it first, or at least he's the first I've seen do it. And
Yeah,
they're such a cool looking block.
it is. That looks really
They're
cool.
kind of tucked in there so they don't take any fire.
Really good looking turret too. I like that. Nice flow on it. Almost has like a challenger turret vibe.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, really cool. Leopard, this is RE1. Is that correct?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Upgradable. Looks like you put on some additional thrust.
I think it might be missing thruster. Yeah. Yeah, it's missing thrusters.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah,
So
it's got nothing.
RE1 had they had these like plasma thrusters, I think they were called.
Yeah, that's right. Those were four block length, whereas the new ones.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So there might be like a new equivalent, then it would just need to get upgraded.
Yeah. Really cool though with the mouth ears. Looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of doing the same thing as well. It's probably like the Command and Conquer inspiration from the Mammoth tank, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, because the original version had a pair of cannons on the front of it as well.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that.
So yeah, it very much had the kind of CNC Mammoth Mark II going on.
The Eclipse here definitely RE1.
This was vanilla.
Oh yeah, vanilla. Okay.
Yeah, this
Oh
this
yeah,
was a
yeah,
vanilla
yeah.
tank.
The thrusters. Okay. All right. Yeah. Hmm. This is a beefy boy though, man.
It is.
Fully kitted out interior. You got the respawn. You got dual fridge, trauma station, constructor.
Even got a constructor. I don't know what you're constructing, but you got that option.
Yeah, so that's something I don't get about like the HV and SV line is the constructors can't make their own ammo.
It's a little weird.
Yeah. Yeah, this definitely got strong. So this is what is this is probably like a max turret count for vanilla, I have to think,
It
huh?
was, or at
Yeah.
least it was at the time. I don't know if
Right.
that's changed.
It's gotta be. I think we looked at everything. Did I miss something?
Um,
Hmm. Oh,
Probably this
repair station.
Eclipse survival base thing. Oh yeah, and the repair station, yeah.
Is this RE2 or RE1?
I think it works in both, but it started as RE1.
Yeah. Nice little faux containers on the bottom. That's really cool. Just a simple little hub.
Yep. Nothing crazy. Can do a little bit of construction, repair ships. You've got the option of growing stuff in here if you really feel like it.
Is that an 18 plot? Yeah.
I think so.
Is this a POI? I think
I think it got turned into a POI,
yeah.
but
I think this is a POI. I've seen this.
yeah, I think it got turned into a Blade Collective POI at some point.
Yeah, and I think the solar panels, these are like the advanced solar panels.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, on the POI, that's right. That's what it
Oh,
is.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so
that would make it worth going after.
it is. Yeah, that's it. I know it. That's it. All right. I thought that looked familiar. It didn't resonate with me till I looked at the interior. Then it made sense. Okay. Let's see. What did we miss?
There's a little survival big ground base.
Oh, the Eclipse Survival Base.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, I like that hangar, man, or that little entryway. Carport. That's really cool. Nice window work. I love to see that. Takes me back to some of Keeve's builds.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I definitely love that angled window work. Nicely expandable plot areas. So what can we? This probably be constructors or something?
I think that was actually medical equipment.
Okay, yeah. Or yeah, that'll get your full medical suite there. Uh, and then it says
It's just power.
so this had to be vanilla?
Oh, yeah, this was vanilla. Yep.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. I was looking for placement for like a large constructor or advanced.
That was outside.
Oh, was
The
it?
C1, C2.
C1, C2.
Like right in the carport.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got
So
you.
you'd
Yeah.
place them here because this was a starter base, so it's meant to so that you could bring it in at a very low level.
Okay, yeah, really good on the cost too. Basically, just carbon. Hmm. The only thing that's missing is solar, but then you can attach that to the base, and that's not an issue.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I really like that. I love the style on that. It kind of gives me some crazy Z vibes, and then like the glass takes me back to like Keeves Etheria. Really cool.
Yeah, Crazy's done a lot of great builds over the years.
The only thing it needs is carpet.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I put any carpet in here. No.
Yeah. I I don't think I've seen carpet in any of your builds, or did I miss some?
It's not a texture I use very often.
Yeah.
I think the only place I've used it is when I have to use concrete, like on the pad here.
Yeah. So I like to use it. It's good for muting some of the reflection of the lights.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is good for that.
Yeah. Getting rid
Because those
of
reflections can get obnoxious.
yeah, those orbs in the ground reflecting out. It's really annoying. Yeah, so this is just a sampling of Dadrick's builds. He's got quite a few more on the workshop.
Yeah, I built a few things.
Really good lineup here. I love the stellar dynamics. Did you have anything else you wanted to bring in?
I
Is
think
that it?
that's about it.
Okay. Any last words for the audience?
Um, eh, and hope you enjoy my builds. That's about all I can think of.
Would you have any advice for aspiring builders?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say check out other builders on the workshop, see what they've done with shapes and how they've kind of been able to put them together. So there are some blocks that kind of go together in certain patterns and they look pretty good. Keep an eye out online for like inspirational artwork. That's about all I can think of.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this episode of Artists Behind the Art with Dadrick. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Until next time, LyfeForce out. Hey, folks, if you enjoy my content, please consider becoming a patron today. As a patron, you gain access to exclusive builds not featured on the workshop, early access builds, as well as participate in a number of things, including polls, feedback, comments, suggestions, ideas, or anything you'd like to submit to current and future builds. If any of this appeals to you, please consider becoming a patron today. Link in the pinned comment below. Thank you.